Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review the comedy Enjoy Yourself, which was filmed back in 2008, released in 2009, and from writer-director George Massimillo. And this film focuses on Tony, played by Chris Cousineau, who finally takes some time off from work. He's been in a long-term relationship, and, everybody's getting on his ass at this point about when you're going to pop the question to your girlfriend. And he has his brother staying with him, coming back from college, and things get complicated when Tony has all this time off from work and reconnects with this young woman who he used to know. And they wind up sleeping together, and things get even more complicated. And at this point, this film is a very closed kind of story where most of the quote-unquote action of the film takes place at this one residence, and it's really focusing on this story of this guy who's at a juncture in his life and he's trying to process that. Now, I'm not going to say this is the kind of film that's going to surprise you, throw big elaborate plots at you. It's pretty basic. It's about this guy with too much time on his hands, and now having the time to really reflect upon his relationship, and also has the time to get himself into trouble. And things get complicated because this young woman's cousin, who's part of his friend group, thinks it's the brother who slept with the cousin. It's a nice little web of complications and human conflict. And I think overall, this cast, despite the fact that, obviously this is a micro-budgeted comedy shot in basically one house with a backyard on very basic film equipment. It's not like this has elaborate cinematography or anything like that. It's a pretty standard experience, but you have a lot of young performers in this film that feel very authentic. And for a film like this, a comedy that's very small in scale, you need to have that authenticity. And if you don't buy into this, you could genuinely feel like these are like brothers, or you have this relationship where it's like he's getting text messages and phone calls and trying to hide it from his should-be fiance, but only girlfriend. And it's one of those kinds of things where Tony, Cousineau's character, is now at this fork in the road and has to really figure out what he really wants. Does he want to grow up and move forward? And, all this time and effort that he's put into this relationship to a woman who treats him really well. It's definitely, you have that kind of feel of like Dante's story from the first Clerks movie, where you're just like, dude, she's really good to you. She's gorgeous, she's good to you, and she's smart and put together. You're a schlub. What the hell are you doing? And it's that kind of thing where you reach that point of commitment and you start wandering elsewhere, and he's getting this attention from this younger woman. And I think this film hits on a very relatable note. I think there's good chemistry amongst this cast. I think that we have some good charismatic performers, and it sells a relatable, genuine story. Now, by the end, how this all falls into place and how this processes, it might have you thinking a little bit. It's like, does Tony get off a little too easy in this situation? Does he have to really confront what he's done and really answer for that? And this is the kind of ending that you're kind of left with and have to think about, like, how do I feel about this? But in the end, I think this, obviously the small crew with their small budget and a group of committed young performers, really put on an engaging and funny and authentic experience that I think is worth a watch. Like, I'm not saying this is going to be the funniest comedy you're going to watch or the most fresh feeling kind of coming of age story, but it hits all those beats in an effective way. And maybe it's the Jersey in me. I definitely felt a little bit of those vibes as well. But those are my thoughts on Enjoy Yourself. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland Reviewer.